Hi, this is Explain. This is another Explore and the final chapter of Super Shock Gundam Minipla series. As you can see, I have everyone transformed into their combined mode, and we are going to combine them into Super Shock Gundam. Let's start with that. And here we have Super Shock Gundam combined. Now, it is much simpler compared to the full power Gridman, and despite I had transformed those into their combined mode, you can see it is much more intricate for full power Gridman, while for Super Shock Gundam it is just everyone in their combined mode and plug in together. That is partly because Super Shock Gundam is designed to be so simple, to be honest. The combined form for everyone is pretty much the same. Putting the arms in their back, even for Shock Gundam, and then just attach whatever for their mode to their legs. Like for Chasaku, it's the open palm. For SG Gundam, it is the fist with weapon holding hole. And for Sazabi and New Gundam, it is their backpack. And New Gundam, SG New Gundam with its double fin funnel also contribute to Super Shock Gundam's wings. You can keep Sazabi's wrap candy funnel on the feet, but it would be kinda, I don't want to say silly, but it looks, I think they made a right decision to not include them in this mode. Now there are a lot more gaps in between the connections, like the shoulder joint is just a block that would be used for plugging in with HG if you decided you use these limbs with HG. And the legs are just Shock Gundam's legs being used as knees. Mobility is actually decent. But they are much tougher to move around due to them being hard ABS, as opposed to what you might find in MG. Also, there are a lot of leverage to each of them because of their shape, so it is kinda easy for everything to just fall off if you're a bit too aggressive, like we just did. But if you just have it standing and taking photos, it is pretty solid. Now, let's do what we usually do looking at every corner of the Gunpla, starting from the head. Super Shock Gundam's head is basically Shock Gundam's head, with the backpack wings as additional antennas and a face mask. Although the face mask is pretty much the same, like the styling is pretty much the same as Shock Gundam, it just have the side vents being grilled instead of a open hole, and the chest is now covered with what used to be part of the backpack, the down sweep wings. Overall, this arrangement wouldn't look out of place for SD Gundam anyways, so I guess for dramatic effects that's why they withhold them for Shock Gundam and use this for Super Shock Gundam, but otherwise not necessary, to be honest. Now, SG Gundam. Basically just Gundam, SG Gundam with the visor, and then the backpack being used as the fist. Like we had mentioned, ball joint at the shoulder, but then it's easy to come loose as you can see in the transformation, and the head joint become your bicep joints, and the waist joint become elbow joint. Surprised, not surprised that SG Gundam is pretty not special, so that's about it. The beam saber stays as sort of, maybe the beam saber stays as sort of secondary weapon, secondary fist weapon, but otherwise they just set dressing. Now SG Chazaku also pretty much itself. The waist part was hidden underneath the backpack in its MS mode, and you can pretty much plug in any bits with the 3mm port if I recall correctly. So this cannon finger hand is combined with all the extra ports and sockets. This cannon finger hand is fairly have a lot of utility despite looking like it wouldn't have much of that. Now I'm not sure why New Gundam decided to separate. But let's do this. Yeah, you can clearly see the feet are designed to be stands-on, not floating around. SG New Gundam in feet mode, pretty much like I said, have the backpack as the foot, the rest of the body as leg, and then fin funnels on the side. I think in the show these fin funnel does work as well, so it begs the question why SG Sazabi wouldn't have the wrap candy, but then the wrap candy would be on his foot, so I guess that's why. But yeah, otherwise good feet for both of them. And yeah, remember what I said about color? When you have like 5 or 4 major color like the Gundam Tricoat plus a lot of orange, you don't really see the minor color difference. Like you notice them, but they don't matter much in the big super form. Turn around to the back. Here you see a lot of the hands. The Sazabi and New Gundam feet are pretty much back toes, which does help. Super Shock Gundam standing, and New Gundam's fin funnel just attached to the side of Shock Gundam for its wings. There are still lots of ports open around Super Shock Gundam, so you can pretty much attach whatever you want on Super Shock Gundam. And let's go for a standing test. Not surprised it stands. With weight of 5 ABS SD Gundam, it's not a surprise that Super Shock Gundam is very stable in its standing pose, and it's basically standing on one feet or inside of the feet, but yeah, pretty stable otherwise. Now, the Super Shock Sword. That's what they call this weapon. As you can see, it is formed by the main weapons of our SG members, which 4 of them are ranged weapons. And just use Shock Gundam's sword as the tip of the blade. So it is more of a spear, and the handle is this little extension from the back of new Hyper Bazooka. I start off with this form because we are going to do a little bit of recombination to form the Super Shock rifle, which I think makes a lot more sense. This is Super Shock Rifle, a combination, or rather a machine gun. Oh, let's fix the optic on the machine gun. Is pretty much just 2 bazookas, a machine gun and a shotgun rifle strapped together with a possible beam launcher in the middle. But this makes a lot more sense as a combination weapons because, you know, literally every weapon can be fired individually and can be shot as one. So let's give that to Super Shock Gundam. That's kind of anticlimactic, but you know, everything stays together. Now, overall feeling of this entire set. Now, while the candy toy sales strategy was for each individual of the SG members being sold at relative low cost, 500 yen, which was 5 USD, but more like 3 now, but you know, price adjustment, so you've got to find this cost more outside of Japan and with shipment as well. Anyways, the point is for children, pretty much primary school or even middle school, to collect them with their pocket money, maybe every week, maybe every second week at times, and they can form a full-size Gundam at the end of it, while having a SD Gundam to play with in between. And of course, we as adults just buy the whole set, or in my case, I bought a box with two of them, but only showing one for obvious reasons. Anyways, let's say, the cost of five, which is about, 2,500 yen. That's the cost of a mainstay HG today. Not the big ones, but your typical protagonist Gundam, like Gundam Ariel. Caliban costs a bit more, but it is still the same range. Oh, sales tax too, so probably more like Gundam Caliban in this case. So, considering you are getting effectively 6 more with the same cost as you do with Gundam Caliban, there are a lot going for Super Shock Gundam, like choosing Super Shock Gundam instead. It is much easier to see a goal, like you just build one of each member every time. Even if you paint the whole thing, you get a project every week, and then by the end of the month or the next month, you're pulling your hair out trying not to scratch the paint while, assembling the whole thing. Or, like I did, who bought the full box set with 2 sets of these guys, you can have a set of them as individual painted and then a set of them as Super Shock Gundam painted. That works too. So, I have to say this Minipla concept, despite a lot of other things that they could have done, is very successful. In fact, I would say the secondary weapons, or actually main weapons for the MS forms of the individual members, are a highlight of this set. They cemented how this is candy toy with candy themed weapons. And to be honest, I would like to see, well, we know there is a next round for the Shock Gundam crew with their second entry, but should Bandai revisit this idea, it would be nice that the secondary weapons also get a combined form as well. So the combination unit will get 2 weapons like their original suit members. And to be honest, while I do understand Gundam is easier to sell to most people, but I think SG Charged Saku and SG Zazabi proven that they work very well as well. So I would like to see just a big SG Zaku, like a Zaku type that does this thing. In fact, it even makes more sense for the potential antagonists, frenemy, rivals to be a candy toy range as opposed to the protagonist's mainline gunpla. And these antagonists, frenemy, can be playful, can be serious, and have wacky ideas that may be too much for the protagonist, for the kids to learn, but very fun for adults that might want to play with their children. Like, Honestly, I I will say this set, despite its origin as candy toy, probably bring more joy to adults because they can buy the whole set, have it set up or have it hidden in their office, and assemble them very quickly in their downtime, and they have a display piece at their office at the end of a month or two. That's cool too. I just generally have a soft spot for candy toys, so more candy toy is a plus. Maybe do more color separation or better color separation. Like if you design, these guys with them being produced on the market in mind, may as well design them to be something that you have color separation for, and then just present that in the anime. Oh, you know what? Just spray the whole thing gold. That works too. We buy that twice. This is Alex Spling. Present to you Super Shock Gundam. Thanks for watching.